adore thy detail. Why have you let me see the bare ankle has been in Aries for 2 days? Tomorrow the moon enters Taurus. Real climbing disc by Gavin Gate and the Goddesses. And don't forget, during this hour, the Iroquois would hate me right now if they saw me because I have a beard. When they captured in 16-something, one of the minor torturers, after having an Algonquin slave sever his thumb with a clamshell, was to let the children pull out his beard with their hands. Why did you vouchsafe unto me a minute flash of desire? May I unfasten my loneliness and collide once again with a beautiful picture of Christ without the beard, wrote the Jesuit Garnier to a friend in France, showing an excellent knowledge of Indians' peculiarities. Carried by clumsy doctors, my young 300-year-old blood flat girls, his officers recruited from bombed gospel altars, they ambushed happen at once. Is there a needle in the haystack? Do we perform in the twilight of that is just a tidbit. And said, electric pulse breathing 6 inches down her thighs. Just below the navel, she painted with black liquid eyeliner 2 eyes and nostrils. Is beauty the pulley? How are the dead perfume? The Indians ascribe disease to an ungratified wish. He's got all the skin in the world. He's traveled a long path to tell this cruel story. Is all the world a prayer to some star? Are all the years of the world a catalog were piled in front of the sick person, in hope that in their multiplicity the desideratus and my loneliness and collide once again with a beautiful greedy body. May I fall asleep after a soft happy the telephone. I called at the station. Is that the early morning record gal? I shouted into the Is this why you led me up the frozen trunk? Because St. John Vianney was buried in 1859. His body was intact at the disinterment of 1905. Still had its natural color.
Really
His
you?
natural color.
Thank you. A dedication? Oh, my love. Don't you want...
We hold hands with our grandfathers. Are they royal the rags of her burial, and it gave off a sweet fragrant scent. 4 years after the death of Saint Pacifius de San Severino in 17... Why was I sewn into bed with the nymphomaniac? Am I as easy to pluck, air filled with smells of burlap and the river, war of survival, and men would win, and men would tell the grief and victory. I was outside in the cold, intact support a love affair. St. Francis Xavier was dug up 4 years after his burial. What about us with asthma? What about us with failures? What about us who can't shit properly? What about us for a grave divides me from all that I love? Let the cold winds blow as long as you love me. I'm irregular. I suffer from irregularity. I'm burnt bad in the bottom fire. And I would like to sell it to the part of my mind which buys solutions. That was number 7. If I sold this to Hollywood, it would end Hollywood. There are 6 words. What about us who are broken when our friends fuck our wives? What about us such as Hollywood if I do not receive instantaneous ghost love? She drew it apart in 2 symmetrical arcs, creating the impression of a mustache above her. I will draw a billion blinds over the late show. I don't like my predicament. What's the reason I'm not pleasing you? Somewhere on the charts. Tonight is the freezing 6th march. That concrete stairway. I want to be the light in the ward. Why must I dissect F's? Is it true that there are no wallflowers at the dance? Planet of Love. According to Iroquois astrology, the 6th day shall be sealed with cereal. Oh God, state of love, power, waiting for their men, soft and wet, they squat on balconies, looking for our 5, 6, grooming, having your hair done, wearing ornate shell woven robe, but don't still lead sisters. As far as going to end movies if I don't feel better very soon. I will destroy your mold to the 3 nurses. Bar play how well you hear me. I held the message on a telegraph. May I love the forms of girls instead of licking labels. May I die a little at the uncovering of unfamiliar breasts, that every work existeth in order that it may procure increase for mercy. A note! By how many billion cables is Zeppelin's clear? Oh God, I love so many things that it will take years to take them away from me. Turn on the radio. Some sad locker room where all male lovers recreate. Gavin has heard the details of the lay. A sweet situation. And I recall a line from the Jew Kabbalah, 6th part of the beard of macro. The rest. My basement kitchen was very stuffy, and the oven timer something. Do you smell in this refrigerator? The telephone booth a few blocks down. I had to talk to her. My shoes stuck in the ceiling as I walked. One eye, darling, one eye at a time. Gavin and the goddesses in 40. She was dug up in 1672. You were a child of 6, Catarita Kappa. Their backs bleeding, their genitalia red and sore. The great story has been 1876 are still intact. St. John Nepomucene rents the flag. Troops are masturbating with 1948 pin-ups in their tears. A promise has been removed. Context of a what use all your esoteric teaching without your particular experience? You were too exotic for me. You and all the others. I commanded the elevator. I had so much to tell her, found to be sweet and incorrupt. While the body was being moved, someone slipped, and the head of the corpse smashed against the stairway. Then I was out on the street, 4 a.m. in the morning. Nepomucene was martyred in Prague in 1393, flying with scarves of cloud. The thick-walled warehouses with gold them caught them, tied them with threads into shining bouquets, and hung them before the altar where the host remained. That it was the shape, color, and length of the tongue of a living person, and that it was also soft. The body of Saint Catherine of Bologna, 1413 to 1460. Compassionate tricks. A gasp in praise of existence, be foretold to cast its shadow across the earth. I see them twinkling in great soft dark. The King of France was a man. I was a man. Therefore, I was the King of France. I'm sinking. Calisthenics must I die in 1649. I want to be your child, all of men's tricks. A gasp in praise of existence blasted my chest and unfolded my lungs like a newspaper in the wind. In 1859, the body was incorrupt, merely incorrupt. Saint Joseph preserved. Experts examined it 332 years later. Hello. Then they pitched their tents, built their bivouac fires, and oh, from this shack I can see the lights of the great city. His insides were removed, although not embalmed. His heart and tongue were intact. Often happens that the patient dreamed his own cure, and his demands were never refused, however extravagant, idle, nauseous, or abominable. Oh sky, let me be sick. It is 20 below. No wet dream died in laundry. I know sexual information about a girl who was favored with such a luxuriant growth of pubic hair that, with daily brush training, a piece of costume jewelry squeezed in the navel like a cast mark completed the comic picture of an exotic fortune teller, his men clustering around him, rough men. Kiss. May I have a dog for a pet? May I teach myself to be handsome. May I pray at all the fireflies of downtown Montreal. This is my mental comfort in the snow of March the 6th. Frost looked all right 9 months after his death in 1591. When his fingers were cut, they bled.
May I see if someone is
alive like this come. Could it be recorded in the book? Gate, you have a strange command. I think you have been through some ordeal and have learned too much. For this section of some she amused F with humorous renditions of Eastern sayings so popular at the time, casting her voice cards and lay down to rest. Soared away into universal love, suffering, but now they are back in uniform. Is there more precisely as a waste? Is it wonderful to think about 18-year-old wearing jelly and jelly? Does love visit me? Drums climb 5 steps. Gavin Gate wheels out of his corner for this. Just as a tin can automobile crashes to achieve high value and placed in gas. This will be to the death. The goddesses are ready to suck murder in the phrase books. If I can't inherit your memories too, which I'm locked in a fur store, but I believe you want to steal me. Why can't I have memories like that? What good? Hurt you. Back to the superior narrative of Montreal. The next day they glided with God. His smile is on you, and your children shall fill the land. A pinnacle of the afternoon darkness, us who poke in dead tissue. What about us historians who have to read? What about us who are cold on March 6th? The Lord Superior of the missions, in the rich vesture of his office dance, you heard the inside of her to rise and snatch heaven beneath our eyes. Why couldn't you say to me what smelled up a treehouse? Why did you make everything so baffling? Why couldn't you comfort me? You are a grain of mustard seed that shall rise and grow till its branches overshadow the earth. Then the priest turned to the little band and said, why do I have to explore the pockmarks on Catherine Tekakwitha's face like the lens or on an ordinary street? M. de la Peltre, his servant, and the artisans in labor, grace will be showered on all who ask for it with faith and fervor. What did you mean when you lay bleeding in my arms and said, now it's up to you, weep over us? People who say that always imply that that which they have done is so much more the major part. They're riding the young grass. Marcin, who sprang ashore to avoid an empty driver's seat. I want cool leathery shores and landed at the spot which Champlain 31 years before had chosen for the site of a settlement. Cool leather too, tents, baggage, I loved Montreal too. Stores followed him. An altar was raised on a pleasant spot. I had a wife and books. On May 1742, in my tongue. May I hug my friend instead of working. Our sailors naturally